It's hard to get far enough away from this guy now to get video of him. So he is 12 days old now. He was imprinted at birth. He was imprint trained for the first 3 days during his imprint window time. And now he is just being trained, handled, taught to pick up all of his feet, taught to be groomed, and mostly just bonding and trusting. You know, when they're this age, it's a lot about bonding and trusting. And see, he's sort of a centaur now. He is half horse, half human. He doesn't have fear of human beings. Human beings are just part of his herd. And bye. Bye-bye. And so they accept training so much better when there's no fear. And that's really what, to me, the trust and the no fear is what the imprinting is about. To me, that's the most important part. You know, the training, he's got his whole life for the training part. But if you don't have a relationship, and it's just the horse being like his mother, who is very feral. When we got her in October, we don't know anything about her history, but extremely feral and non-trusting and defensive aggressive and grumpy, and doesn't really have a lot of use for humans because she never had any, I'm assuming, any handling when she was little, or she had very poor handling, or she had rough handling. So what we're doing, and I honestly can't believe that everybody doesn't think this is a good idea. Oh my God. I mean, there's people that are like, oh, they shouldn't be handled. They shouldn't be touched. They should be allowed to be a horse. Well, he is a horse. I'm not trying to make him into something that he's not. But you've got to get real. These horses have to be handled, even if they're not going to get trained to ride for years. You know, the farrier has to handle them. The vet has to. Do you want the only time your baby is ever handled to be when the vet techs wrestle him down to the ground for his, sedation to neuter him, or he's getting vaccinations and he's getting needles jabbed into him, or he's getting caught and held and his legs tied up for the farrier? You know, that's how you end up with something like his mother, who's hateful. You know, when I come in to mess with him, she just takes him and leaves. She doesn't want me to touch him. She doesn't want me to touch her. Uh-oh, I thought he was gonna come down here. But you can see the strength of him and the speed. And if I hadn't started training him when he was born, like the second he came out of her, and I would have liked to have done a much heavier imprint session that first night if you watched his birth, but his mother is an intractable horse who's fearful and aggressive, and I didn't want to stress her out. So I just did it very lightly with him, but it's working out fine. We've done a modified version of Dr. Miller's imprint training of the newborn foal. You can find his book and read it. But to me, see, I want this horse, this baby, to have a lot of positive handling, for him to see humans as a positive, for him to enjoy learning. He's already learned a lot. He probably knows more than most 2-year-old horses right now. And then when it comes time for vaccinations, when it comes time for sedation, when it comes time for the farrier, those will just be some tiny negatives and a lot of positives that he's had since birth. So I don't see the point in having baby horses, turning them out with their mother to grow up, quote unquote. Well, guess what? During those first 2 or 3 years, he has to be handled regularly for farrier work, which is every 6 weeks, for veterinary work, for parasite prevention, deworming, fly prevention. So all of those are not fun. Those are all negatives. So we've got to do a lot of positives before and between the negatives in order to have a very trusting baby colt. See, they're up the hill because of her. She can't stand for me to have my hands on that baby. And that's because she was either never handled or very poorly handled. She's the opposite of an imprinted horse. She's a horse that hates people. She has no connection with people, and we're working with her all the time to let her know that we're good and we're not going to hurt her, that she's going to be handled with respect and care. But she can't stand it when that baby starts showing me a lot of attention, and so she has to leave, take him away, and say people aren't good. So I also fight against that a lot. But anybody who thinks that handling a baby horse is detrimental to that horse is nuts, in my opinion, because he's going to have to get handled one way or the other while he's growing up. So why not tame him? Why not imprint him? Why not make him see humans as part of the herd? Why not make a centaur out of that baby? We have raised so many colts this way that have turned out phenomenally. They get broke, quote unquote, to ride without even breaking a sweat. You don't have to take them in a round pen and throw ropes at them and run the daylights out of them and all that stuff, which is, you know, that's a whole nother subject. But anyway, this is our imprinted baby. He's 12 days old now, and in spite of his mother's attitude, he is doing phenomenally well. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share. And get Dr. Miller's book, Imprint Training of the Newborn Foal, if you're going to do any breeding. Thanks.